All right, we are live with the Fired Up Lunchcast. We've got Doug Peters over here, and first up as one of our special guests today is Jakup Sinani. Jakup, how's it going? Because no one cares about me and Doug. They've had enough of us on the Lunchcast for a little while. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Ready to get this thing going.
Awesome. How's the summer been going?
This question. What time did you get up this morning, Sinani?
Today we had conditioning, so it was a little earlier than normal. So I was in the 6:30 group. There's a group before us. But yeah, so I was up around 5:45 to head over to Nemzik to get on the field.
And that's a little early for me in some ways. Well, how has that been going? What's it feel like to be back into that place as we go?
It feels great just being able to see everyone face to face. We're still 6 feet apart every 5 yards. We're doing our best, but it's a lot better than seeing guys send in workout videos than what we've been doing, where we can actually make sure that guys are getting the conditioning in.
Well, tell us a little bit about, before we get into too much of what's happening right now, what was the summer like for you personally in adjusting to everything that kind of happened? Like, how'd you stay active and did your best to throw the football a little bit?
You cut out a little bit, but I'll try and answer the question as best as I heard it. So for me, or as a senior group, we decided that we're going to take a lot of ownership in this. And we had weekly meetings where we would meet with Coach Lockaway, and then we would come up with a plan on what was the best way to make sure that guys are still staying active during the quarantine time, where guys may have full weight room, or they might just have to be stuck with body weights. And that's where our strength coach, Coach Anderson, did a really good job on making sure that he had a plan set in place for everyone, whether you had a weight room or didn't have a weight room. So we kind of just made sure that when you were working out, you had to send in a video. And then we set the standard as a senior class at 12 workouts a week, whether that's working out, doing yoga and stretching, doing some sort of conditioning. And then we had position drills as well. So you had 7 days to get 12 workouts in. And for the most part, guys did an amazing job. And I think we're almost more prepared than we would be if we were just doing stuff at Nemzik. A lot of guys went above and beyond the 12 workouts that we did, and that was really exciting.
And what has the first few days back been like? I know early mornings is part of it, as Coach Karla Nelson hops in here as well. Hey, Coach. Her audio's connecting. Hey, Swen. Good to see you guys. But Jakup, just another follow-up on that is just, what has this return to Nemzik been like as far as the conditioning and now some weightlifting?
Yeah, it's really exciting because, like I said before, we're not just seeing guys work out through videos, and now we're able to – you're not just working out by yourself. You have the whole team there where you can push guys farther than you would be if you're lifting by yourself. So, I think the work that we've done in the past 2 weeks have been really good, and I'm looking forward for the rest of the summer.
Did you see that summer feeling of just – I've done it before. You eat a little bit more, especially under quarantine. And you said you guys, as a senior group, made a commitment to coming in healthier and stronger. How did that transition feel for you in getting back into group workouts and a little bit higher level of intensity?
I think the first 2 weeks that we've had, the guys on the team have been looking really good from a standpoint of Anderson wanted us to kind of ease back into things. And a lot of guys were like, we don't need to ease back into it. We've already been going full go since we left for spring break. And now I think just the guys on the team, just being there, everyone has adrenaline when we're doing the conditioning. So it's been really fun.
And Coach Karla, since you're here with us, let's pitch it over to you. What is, before you make sure you unmute, what has your summer been like? You got to unmute. Where's Swen? Let's see if I can help her out here. There we go.
Hello?
Got
Can you
her.
hear me? Okay. Am I good?
Yeah, you're great.
Oh, okay, good. What were you saying now?
Well, how's your summer been as we see you now here and after a long kind of off period? What's your summer been like?
Well, it actually feels like August. It's just been a long It's been a long few months, just like everybody else, just trying to get back to some normalcy and, just kind of playing it by ear. I mean, it's kind of frustrating, yet, you have to be patient with everything that's happening. So yeah, it's interesting. It's been interesting. I've been at this for 27 years, and this will be the first summer that I haven't been out recruiting. So it actually feels odd.
Yeah. And you guys do a really good job of recruiting a class behind. So, I mean, you are typically ahead in your recruiting cycle anyway. How has this kind of affected your recruiting timeline as a whole? You mentioned not being out there, but how has this really made an impact and made it really interesting, to use your words?
Well, I think the 2020s have been fine, but it's going to be the 10th grade class, the 9th graders that you would be looking at that are going to be 10th graders that are going to be 11th graders. I told Swen one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back to the old days, which is just watch a lot of video and probably get out during the high school season and watch more games during the high school season, because everything else is pretty much on hold, or plus we can't leave campus anyway. So, I think you're just going to have to figure it out as you go. And I know that it's going to work out, so we're not going to really worry about it. And we're just going to worry about this year's recruiting class.
Karla, as you talk about recruiting in the future, and you're obviously having conversations, and we can't get into specific names, but what's the vibe you're hearing from the women's basketball players that you're recruiting right now that are still in high school? How are they handling this? What are they thinking? What are they feeling?
Well, I think there's twofold. I think some kids are patient, and then some kids are panicky. I think the biggest thing is, we've done everything we can do virtually and Zoom and all those things. And, I think kids, especially girls, women, want to get on campus and see for themselves what it's like. And so there's a panic, like, when can we get there? And then, what's going on with AAU? And, oh my gosh. And, so I think you see two things. Like I said, I think some kids are really patient and are like, okay, this is going to be fine. And then some kids are like, I need to decide. And, so you feel bad for them because there's so much uncertainty, but, it's going to work out. And, kids are really resourceful. I mean, a lot of kids are sending highlight tapes out, our videos out more than, how about tapes? Videos out more than ever before. So I don't know. It's something new, and I really do think that maybe this will be a way that kids this will be an avenue, like the highlight tapes will be the avenue maybe kids will go if they can't play AAU, because AAU is very expensive. So I think that it will work out. I put it this way, if you're good enough, coaches will find you.
That's very true. We were asking Jake a little bit about coming back into NEMSIC. We know you're in your office right now. I know you've had a couple of prospective student athletes on campus for visits here this week. Another one today. We can't talk about names, but how's that been a little bit different doing a campus visit in this environment?
Well, it certainly is weird. I felt bad for the mother that was here the other day because she actually felt claustrophobic having to wear a mask. And so I really felt bad for her. So we'll work our way through that. And, but, for the most part, the campus tour was great. Nothing's changed there. Just maybe getting in and out of buildings a little more quickly because, there's not as much activity going on. But, for the most part, it's just really getting to visit with people, which is the same, but the campus certainly does have a kind of that desert feel to it where, just not a lot of things going on right now. But, the great thing is, I thought, is that we had sent out virtual tours to recruits, and them coming on campus, they thought our campus was beautiful. And so that's the nice thing, to get these kids on campus and see how beautiful our campus is.
Awesome.
And hey, Jake, Karla just talked about the younger generations coming up. How much communication have you kind of had as that leadership group in sparking that same tenacity and competitiveness in the incoming freshmen to Dragon football?
Yeah, I mean, because right now the unknown is if we're going to have fall camp is going to be reduced, when can we start, all that stuff. And normally we have some freshmen coming up during the summertime, which now with this going on, they're not able to. And so fall camp, with that being, we might not be able to install as many plays as we want. So as the seniors, we really have to make sure that the freshmen coming in are going to be ready to go, and they're not going to have any setbacks on learning the playbook or anything like that. So we've kind of just been trying to meet with them as much as they can. People are busy nowadays, but just trying to make sure that they're on top of the basic plays, the simple ones to get down, just so when we get into fall camp, things can go as smoothly as possible.
Oh, that makes me want to jump in and ask this question. So you talk about plays in the playbook, Sinani. What is your favorite kind of play in the playbook? And I want the exact play, but a little bit more than whether it's a pass or a run, because it's not take a rocket science to figure out what you like better on that.
Well, I like the ones that score us the most points.
Oh, good answer. Remember that, Coach Nelson, when you're calling plays. It's the players like the ones that score the most points.
So do coaches.
Right. Before we move on to a couple other topics, Doug, you shared a little something you were texting with a colleague with, that if you like plays, if you had to run these new freshmen through some of these plays, how would you teach them how to throw a football? And that question comes from our friend Denise Gorsline.
That's right. So, Sinani, you did a little speech on how to throw a football. I mean, what were some of the – how long was it, and what were some of the key points you threw in there?
It just had to be a short little video on – it was our how-to speech. So, fittingly, I did a how to throw a football. And, I don't know, it's just the basics. I was like, if everyone's going to be at a tailgate or something at some point in your life, so everyone should know how to throw a football, whether it's a baseball or something like that. You don't want to be that person that goes out there and embarrasses and then it starts rolling over there. So I just gave them a little few pointers.
All right, so then that makes me want to ask, how far is the farthest you've thrown a football? I'm not talking completed pass, but if we put you on the goal line and said throw it as far as you can, how far do you think you can throw it?
Oh boy, as guys on that team, my body's probably falling apart. So if I tried to just chuck it as far as I could, my arm would probably fall off.
All right. That's a good answer. Way not to give away too much there on the whole arm strength thing.
Yeah, we might have some other teams listening on this call.
Far is the right answer. Far is the right answer. Just
Farther
a reminder,
than you, Peters, that would be the right answer.
For sure. Just for our fans watching, if you have any questions for Coach Nelson or Jakup, please throw them in the Zoom chat. We'll get to those as well. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, just ask your questions in the comments. One big reason why we wanted to invite Coach Nelson here today is to talk a little bit about the Dragon Women's Golf Scramble. Could you tell us about when that's happening and a little bit more about that event?
Am I on? Have you muted me?
No, I would never. Okay. I know better than that, Coach.
Well, I've been a lot this year. So anyway, it's July 7th at the Moorhead Country Club, 1 o'clock shotgun. We have some great sponsors that really stepped up and help us get this going. Valley Imports is our big sponsor. They're sponsoring the golf and the carts. Gate City Bank is sponsoring the meal, and Connie Theraldson and Gary are sponsoring Connie is the gift certificates out of the pro shop. So everything that we generate from the golfers will go directly to scholarships. So it's a great event. We'll see how it goes. We're going to try to keep some social distancing yet, still have a good time. And so we've done some different things as far as the tournament goes, as far as meals and stuff like that. But right now it looks like we have about 80 golfers. Maybe we'll get a few more. Maybe we'll get closer to 90. We'll see. But I thought that was a good turnout considering all the stuff that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, right. Since we're in a social media world, if anybody's interested in golfing, just reach out to Coach Nelson via social media. Sorry, I had to throw that in, Webby.
Well, I just saw Terry Sinani hop in to watch today. So you got any comments on that front, Jakup?
No.
That's fun to see. Coach, why is this tournament so important to you? I know a lot of your friends, a lot of important people in women's athletics are in this. Why is this tournament such a big deal?
Well, first of all, we get a lot of alumni to come back and golf in it. I mean, that's what makes it a little bit extra special for me. But I think getting back to the alumni, they mark their calendars for this date. They really look forward to it. So we'll probably have between 30 to 40 alumni golfing in this tournament. And, those women know how to have a good time on the golf course. They're not I don't know if some of them are the best golfers, but they do not care. It's just their way of getting to see each other and, basically donating some money and, maybe having a drink or two. You just never know. But I have a lot of friends that golf in this tournament, and I think it just becomes a social event more so than anything else. And it's become pretty special to me. I've gotten to meet a lot of people through this event, and all the big sponsors that I have in this tournament are all women. So they've really stepped up big time, and it's nice to see women in those positions where they can really donate some big dollars to this event, and I really appreciate that.
I'd say one of my favorite parts of the tournament, Webby, is watching Coach Nelson just talk to everybody. At the beginning of the tournament, at the end of the tournament, maybe a little tired after the full day on the course. But in the registration piece, just watching you, Coach Nelson, interact with everybody that's there, that's probably my favorite part of the tournament, just for me from a selfish standpoint.
I like going around and taking pictures, man. That's usually my role that day. A few are reluctant, but a few teams really get into that picture and that memory, and they hang on to that too. And it's just like you said, a lot of wonderful, long-standing and new relationships get formed at that tournament, and that's really the highlight in seeing some of those things come together. But as well as that is, can you share maybe some of the names that you're excited to see? I know you're excited to see everybody at this tournament. Are there some people that are coming in that you're really excited to see and share that might, say, hey, come and join us?
Well, I'm always excited to see all the alums. Okay. Right. And if I start naming names, I'm probably going to forget somebody, but the first person that comes to mind is Judy Nelson and, the Trailblazers, Karen Schumacher, Sandy Obe, and Marianne Dunny, and all those ladies that come in, Mindy Hoven. I mean, just crazy, fun people. And, I think when I get to see them, you understand how special Dragon Athletics is, especially on the women's side. There's a lot of, when you bring those ladies back onto the course, on the course that day, and just in general, there's a lot of camaraderie. And, that is what I love most about that day. And it's just to see them enjoying to see each other, getting to see each other, and, just keeping that tradition up. I think that's a huge deal. That's something that's really important to me is tradition. I love tradition. I love things that, me, Webby, we have the same song for pregame introductions. I mean, I love that. I think that those things go a long way in making people feel connected to your sport, your athletic department, and your institution. And I don't ever want to lose that.
All right. One of the questions that's out there is, Coach Nelson, are we going to see you at a Red Hawks game this summer?
Well, if the Red Hawks play and we get a suite, absolutely. It's one of my favorite things. I'm a big baseball fan, so I love that. And Doug, as well as I, that is a huge social event for us too. So, yeah, I mean, I love the Red Hawks. I've never had a bad experience over there.
I wasn't sure if you were going to say you loved baseball or you loved mini donuts, because I know they're neck and neck.
Well, I mean, I love mini donuts now. I just have to be careful how many I eat. But
all right, so that makes me ask, Sinani, what do you love to eat that you maybe shouldn't eat?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a big snacker, so anytime there's snack food, I could just finish the whole bag.
So you're a chips guy or a cookie guy?
Whatever I get my hands on.
On the flip side of it, Jake, you just got to listen to Coach Nelson talk about the alumni and engagement, and the group she mentioned with the Trailblazers. They're from the 70s and 80s. When you think ahead to being an alum, what are you thinking about? How are you thinking at all about what it's going to be like in 20 years? Or are you just in the here and now?
I mean, I'm mostly in the here and now, but at the same time, when you see older guys come back to practice that I played with my freshman year and stuff like that, I mean, that's always a sweet, just seeing that they still care about us and they're willing to take time out of their day to come watch us practice and just meet up with us.
Who's one guy on your team, one teammate, maybe, or a couple that you know you're going to be talking to in 20 years from now? When something happens, you're going to be shooting him the text or giving him the call and say, hey, this happened.
Probably all my roommates. I mean, I give them a shout out. Adam Johnson, Austin Rube, Joe Muccio, who just transferred here from St. Cloud, and then Phil Melrose. So, I mean, I hope our house still stays connected when we graduate.
Yeah, that I would say that's the funnest thing for me as an athletic director, and I know it's true for Karla and Webby. It's watching the groups come back and that you've stayed in touch. It's not so much you came back, but it's more like with the Trailblazers group, they're still so tight and they still have the relationships, and it's lasted. It's a lifetime relationship, and that stuff is awesome to see from my perspective.
And Coach,
it's good to know who you live with now, Sinani.
Yeah, well, be sure to tell Melro hi for me. But Coach Nelson, I mean, you've gotten to see that perspective as well of trying to connect the newer alums from your program to that Trailblazer and to that group of kind of all-star alums. What's some advice you would give to some of the younger alums to get reconnected to the alumni community and still stay connected to their program?
I think it's tricky. I think as coaches, as an athletic department, as an institution, it's our responsibility to, bring those Trailblazers back. I'll give you an example. That we have an alumni game usually, and we'll bring the Trailblazers back, or we'll bring alumni back, and then we'll have a social. And then we just really try to, well, I'm not even going to say it's we. The older alums usually share a lot of stories, and then the younger alums will share some stories, and then all of a sudden it becomes our story. And so I think that's pretty cool stuff. I don't think there's any one way that's right or wrong. I just feel like it's our job to try to keep them engaged. And I think that, if people want to be engaged, they're going to, but we have to do the best we can to try to promote that. And that's what we try to do from the women's basketball standpoint. And I learned those things from, my experiences at the University of North Dakota. And I will say this, that if you don't work at it, you will lose those connections. So you actually have to work at it. And the alumni game is one thing, but, I try to stay connected via text message, FaceTime, Facebook, Twitter, all those things. I think those are the things that help you stay connected. And, it's constant. You just can't drop the ball on that and think it's going to happen. Still continue or maintain it, because it won't happen that way.
And there's that uncomfortable silence when we don't know who's going to talk next. Right there. So as we look at it, Karla, any advice to anybody about, did I hit it right? If somebody's interested in playing in the women's golf tournament, just reach out to you via social media. Is that the best way to do it?
Well, I think that's the easiest. They can, most of these ladies are on Facebook. They certainly can, message me. They can email me. They can, and some of them have my number. They can text me. It doesn't matter. That's the easiest way, because we decided late to put this tournament on. And so, it doesn't matter. Just get in touch with me, or call Moorhead Country Club and they'll get in touch with me too. So those are the easiest things to do.
Awesome. It's a little bit old school. With the whole COVID and the restrictions in the state of Minnesota, we are going old school, and it's going to be an awesome day. That's for sure.
And
it's going to be tricky. And you know what? Let's pray there's no rain and we can get out and golf and enjoy the sunshine. And the one thing I'll say about golf is when you get out and golf and the frustrations of golf makes the world seem, not so bad. It's some normalcy.
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask
shots. Being Webby at the same time.
No, it's the same question. I was going to ask her how her game's been so far, and by that comment, I'm guessing not very good.
It's not. This is what I learned though after breaking my arm. that it doesn't matter how, good or bad I golf. I don't really care. I just want to enjoy the day, and most of us just want to enjoy our friends. And that's just a great way. Golf is a great way to bring us all together.
And Jakup, I know, your roommates, and a couple of them have been involved in a little bit of fun stuff and bonding as well around marbles. Can you tell me what's going on there with that marble game?
I mean, it was just a few guys on the team just trying to have a good time. I mean, everyone was stuck quarantine. So, I mean, what better way to go on social media and have a marble race?
How involved have you been in the marble races, and what is your marble of choice?
See, I wasn't too involved in it. I'd watch the videos and stuff, but I wasn't that involved. But, I mean, my roommate Phil, he was one of the runners of that. I mean, he loved doing that.
He's definitely either the hype guy or the cameraman, one of you. So for our fans who are watching and listening, and if you don't know, they created probably an 8-foot long board, put screws, rubber bands, a release mechanism, and a winning chute at the end, and would release 6 or 7 marbles, and each one of them has a name and a record and a history. And so you see these things roll down, and all the football guys are in the room like, yeah, trying to, get it going. But the chatter amongst the rest of the team of, I'm rooting for this marble today, I think it's going to be this marble, and all the smack talk in there. It was just one of the coolest ways that I saw this off period of a team doing something innovative and different to stay together and have a commentary. So, thank you for your teammates for giving me that kind of entertainment, because I tuned in for a few of those, and that was fun. But, just as we get into the end of the show here, and you're getting through some of the conditioning workouts and some of the weightlifting workouts, what do you say to the fans out there to get fired up for watching some Dragon football this fall?
I would just say that the Dragons are ready, and we're hoping that we have a season this year so we can showcase what we've been working the whole off season.
And Karla, same question to you. What do those fans need to look for out of Dragon women's basketball next year?
Well, I hope an exciting brand of basketball. And by the way, I do like the marble races also, which is, somebody in her 50s can like those too. So I do it. That is cheap entertainment. But anyway, I think it'll be exciting. Hopefully we can build off how we ended up finishing last year. I thought we played better at the end of last year. So we'll see. I mean, if a coach knew exactly how their team was going to play, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. If we could see into the future at all, it'd be wonderful right now. But thank you both for joining us on the show today. Thank you, Doug, for helping us out with some questions. Thank you all for listening. For those of you interested in the Dragon Women's Golf Scramble, hit up with Karla Nelson, Dragon Women's Basketball on social media to secure your place in a wonderful event that supports women's sports, women's athletics, and women's scholarships here in our community. Thank you all. Thank you both, all three of you. See ya.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.